We'll give it just one more minute. Okay, I guess we can get started. GM, everybody, welcome to the Product and Creative Services Workstream Office Hours. For those of you who want to follow along with us, we will be sharing everything in the Zoom. The Zoom link is posted in the DAO stage chat. Cool. So hopefully you can see my screen there. So today I'm just going to touch briefly on the roadmap. We went over a lot of things yesterday at the All Fox. For anybody who missed the All Fox, that is in the recorded meetings channel and Discord. And you can see everything that's going on and has gone on in the DAO since the DAO formed. And we went over a lot of stuff on the product side there. But today what we're going to do is just do a quick look at the roadmap and the strategy buckets and just kind of show you guys where we're at with our goal of sunsetting beta.shapeshift.com. And we're going to look at the new nav and a page that Huff built to join the community on ShapeShiftDAO.com. And then Fox McCloud is going to give us a live feature demo of Cosmos staking. And then there's a new homepage design that's in flight. It's very rough still, but Beard's going to show what that's starting to look like. And then I'm going to just do a quick review of Pendo to show you guys a little bit behind the scenes, kind of what Pendo does, the features that it has, and how we're getting it all set up. And then Willie's going to do a spec review for Idle Finance. This is actually Decentralized J. He actually did the spec for this one, but he is not here today, so Willie's going to take the reins on that one. And then we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. So again, you can follow along in the Zoom on the DAO stage chat. Okay, so I will just dive into it. As always, in the product and creative services section inside Notion, you can find the product roadmap. And there are a bunch of different views that you can filter here, like gallery by strategy buckets. You can filter. So here I've filtered our roadmap by the strategy of sunset beta. And I just wanted to show the progress of where we're at. So anything that's at 100% is pretty much shipped, ready, done. And then anything else is currently in flight. So Ledger support we're going to be getting through XDeFi Wallet. We also have Ledger support through MetaMask, as you guys know, but MetaMask is purely Ethereum based. XDeFi Wallet is right at that finish line. There's a couple more pieces being done, and then hopefully that will ship. My assumption is at this point next week. The ability to set your default currency. This is a bounty. It's currently in flight. Hoping again that will also get done next week. The native wallet migration piece, we already kicked that off. That's well underway with engineering. Part one of that is just for those of you who have seen it, or those of you who haven't seen it, it's just allowing users who have a ShapeShift legacy native wallet to be able to import it easily into the new ShapeShift web app. And that's part of the strategy of sunsetting beta. And then being able to set up and initialize a new keep key. That functionality right now only exists in beta.shapeshift.com. that is being built now for the new web app. And then the other large piece is Thorchain support, getting to parity with the same features we have for Thorchain support on beta. That is handled already on this product side for UX and spec. And then there's some work being done on the engineering side in the background. And then that will formally have a breakdown probably next week or the following week, where it's broken down into tickets with engineering. So a lot of stuff currently in flight and a lot of stuff about to come. And then we will feel comfortable doing a hard push to migrate or move all of those users from beta.shapeshift.com into the new web app. Treasure support is something that XDeFi Wallet is actually going to support. It's not available right now, but it will be in the future. And once they have Treasure support, we will have it because we will have their wallet integrated. So yeah, that's what I wanted to go over today, because as you guys know, sunsetting beta is one of our biggest initiatives right now. And we're well on our way. I will just see if there's any questions on the stage chat. No, just some other comments. Okay. I will stop my screen share. And I'm going to hand it off to Hoff. Hoff, I'll invite you to come up here and you can show the stuff that you've done to the new navigation on ShapeShift.com and the new join page that you built.
Cool. So I'm going to share my screen on Zoom. You got, if anyone just joined, there's a Zoom link in the stage chat. Give me 1 second. Right. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Zoom, you can. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we redid, well, we have a new image on the hero section. We added a screen of the web app, kind of like faded it back so you can kind of see the, you know, the night sky behind it. It's kind of nice. I think we shared this before, but we changed the messaging. We worked with the marketing team, came up with kind of a nice little quick elevator kind of speech sentence. We got all the links are now updated to the new app. We do have this link to the prior ShapeShift. Biggest thing, we kind of reorganized a little bit of navigation, cleaned it up. Its biggest change is that this community link, and we created this join our community page. And it kind of shows where you can engage with the DAO through Discord, our forum, boardroom, and it can be our GitHub. We have this consume section where you can see our Medium blog, Twitter, YouTube, Reddit. Kind of created this little world community image thing. So yeah, that's new. You guys can check it out. Also, you know, works all responsive. So we just got a little drawer and you can, you know, go through and play with all that stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Is there any questions? Well, let me look at the chat.
Just some comments that it looks really good.
Cool. Yeah, that's really all I got to share. Not too much today, but feel free to go and play around with it. And that's it for me. Pass it back
Cool.
to Diggy.
Thanks, Hoff. Awesome. And for those of you who aren't aware, that's all built in Webflow. Hoff is our Webflow master. So anytime we make changes to ShapeShift.com, he's the one that goes in and makes them and then does a lot of the design work for the ShapeShift.com website. In addition to helping out with a lot of the product stuff. Okay, I'm going to pass it over now to Fox in the Cloud for a Cosmos staking demo.
Thanks, Diggy. Let me get the screen share going. All right, you guys see dashboard with Cosmos on it? Fantastic. I'm just going to assume it's yes. I don't know why everyone asks,
Yes.
can you see my screen? The answer 99 times out of 100 is yes. So great. So we now, obviously, with the milestone 1, which happened a couple weeks ago, we're able to see Cosmos, balance, value, things like that. With this new milestone that is being finished up, we're now bringing on staking, unstaking, rewards, things like that. So from the dashboard, you can see Cosmos. There's going to be a few ways to get through it. You can, of course, go to DeFi and look for it, or you can just click Cosmos. It'll take you right here, have all the other information that any other asset would have, overview and transactions. It should have a transaction history. Let me make sure I got the right flag on. Interesting. Well, it wouldn't be a live demo unless something wasn't working. Now Cosmos isn't even showing up. Sorry, guys. Give me just another second. Let's try refreshing the page. All right, Cosmos. Well, now I know if I just refreshed it, this won't be on. Sorry.
That's one of the things that always drives me crazy testing with the feature flags.
This was literally working 10 minutes ago. All right, let's try this one more time. Third time's the charm. Cosmos, staking. It should show me, it looks like it's still loading a little. It should show if you have any staking in here. Obviously, it's having a little trouble loading right now. But if we click see all, it's going to take us right to that DeFi section. And it should load Cosmos, or it should load anything that you have. Fox should always be on top, and then anything that you have a staking position in should be listed underneath that. Let's try this one more time. How bizarre. All right. Well, normally you would just click into it, similar to staking. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Staking. Click into this. I have an overview. I'm currently unstaking out of Everstake, so I can stake with ShapeShift, but that's just who I was before we had this feature. So that's cool that you will be able to see any other stake positions you have, any rewards you have to claim. Then if I do have some extra Cosmos, which I do, I could restake it, click whatever amount, or I could type it in. So you all have the 3 pretty much overview, stake, unstake, and then of course your flow. So I'm on the first step out of 3. Click continue, set my fees. We'll do fast, insufficient funds. Let's go back and do just slightly. Let's do 75%. Let's just stake 1 atom. Perfect. Sign and broadcast. I want to confirm all this, of course. Take a look at the amount. No validator. Again, in the future, this will say ShapeShift, but I was currently in the process of unstaking that. Your average APR, yearly returns, and then if you wanted to set a gas fee, then you just sign and broadcast once it's confirmed. Should be a pretty straightforward staking process and should give me a TX ID once it generates one. And of course, is now giving me some issues. All right. Well, normally this works just fine. Of course, now after this demo, I'll take a look and see what's causing it. There we go. Perfect. You'll get a transaction ID, which will link to a block explorer. Sometimes takes a few seconds, obviously, because once it's generated, it has to be broadcast. But if we give this another minute, it should pull up as successful. While that is loading, we can, there we go, successful, perfect. So I staked my atom, it cost me a fraction of a penny, which is awesome, and I staked my 1 atom. And if I come back here, I can now go to overview, or unstake, excuse me. And if I wanted to, I might need to refresh, which I know they were working on. And obviously, once this is released, users won't have to click those feature flags or anything like that. That's just while we're still getting it to release and getting it to a product ready point. It looks like I'm having that same issue where Cosmos isn't popping up. There we go. Just taking a little longer to load. So you can see it came here, sent one atom. We're also working on how to kind of read these transactions so that this is displayed better, because ideally this doesn't say sent, this says staked, things like that. So all that's still to come, still things being worked on. Now it's saying ShapeShiftDAO. Well, that's great. That's exactly the staker I wanted to do before. And this is exactly how it should be popping up. But now it's not reading my other staking. That's obviously a very small side issue with someone who might have already staked through a different stake delegator versus ShapeShift. You shouldn't run into any sort of these issues if you're staking for the first time. I apologize, that wasn't the smoothest demo, and I'll kind of look into what was causing that. But if this was working, then I would just be able to click unstake or claim reward or any of those other those buttons, and it's as simple as normally clicking the button, entering the amount, confirming, broadcasting, and there you have it. But great to see we got already that, 30 million staked for Atom right now, which is fantastic. So looking good. Still working on a few of the smaller, tinier bugs. Right now, this is supported on native. And will also be supported on KeepKey eventually, not quite yet. And then, of course, MetaMask and Portis are EVM only, so it won't be supported on those. But yeah, that's pretty much the demo. Any questions on that?
Well, since it's still a little buggy, good thing we're still behind a feature flag, but
Yes.
we know they're actively working on everything right now. So hopefully very, 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 very soon. We are like right at that finish line.
Ron just
cool,
asked
and
in the audience, when Kepler? Do you have any update?
Yes. Soon. There's a bounty out for it. I'm hoping that by the next office hours we'll be able to demo Kepler live in the ShapeShift web app. So soon.
Sweet. Great answer. And with MetaMask, we said MetaMask can't support it, but we are looking into some possibilities with this new MetaMask snaps, where potentially ShapeShift could be the first place where you could use Cosmos on MetaMask. So in the early stages of looking at that, but Gomez was actually got to go to like a MetaMask snaps workshop in Amsterdam yesterday. So he had good things to say, and it's looking encouraging. So something that is on product radar.
Very exciting. And then if we're gonna just keep dropping alpha, hopefully one day soon we have XDeFi wallet connected as well, and that's obviously multiple chains, multi-chain.
Yeah,
so
that's
exciting.
super close. I think the last part of that was just getting those gas fees, and I think I saw this morning there was a PR in for that, so I think that one, like maybe next week.
Yes,
That'd be awesome. Cool. Thank you, Noah. And of course, live demos don't always go totally smoothly, especially for projects that are in flight. But thank you for doing that. Cool. Next up, we have Beard. He is going to show a new homepage design, and I will just intro this by saying this is super rough. It's super in concept. The copy is all FPO and lorem ipsum, as are a lot of the images. So just keep that in mind as he shows this.
Yeah, most of the copies just lifted off of the current site or lorem ipsum. All right. I assume you can see my screen.
Yes.
Everyone's been working so far. Okay, cool. So this is kind of like a rough idea of maybe how we'd want to reorganize the site and maybe some styling we'd want to like lift off of how the app looks, so it's a little more in line with our new styling of everything. So we have the new call out for the Explore the DeFi Universe with a shot of the app, and then a CTA to launch the app. And below that, we have a section that's going to be used for right now, like it's Fox farming, but it'll probably be Foxy at some point. So a nice little call out there, bringing in some more visuals from from the app. Then we have a nice wallet section, little stats about the stuff that we support, the wallets that are supported with their logos, and some fancy icons with the assets. And then here's the governance section, which will have all the different quick links that people can access stuff for, like Wardroom, Governance Forum, Discord, and then hopefully learn more about the community and how the governance works. And then a big purple box for shadowy supercoders.
That's cool. Just placeholder. Hop's going to give us an awesome illustration there.
I tried throwing in some matrix stuff here, but then I was like, let's just do like a beautiful mind, algorithm code. And then there's like a little section here to, if you're not a developer, you can go through here. Again, this is all kind of a work in progress on that. Then we'll have a news section. And then the footer. So that's basically it. And then Hoff's going to come in and make it, give it some Hoff flair. Should be pretty dope.
And Lindsay Liu had a good idea. Instead of just having it in the news, she was thinking that we could do like Shapeshift in the world, and then it could pull information in from a variety of sources. So not necessarily just news. But yeah, this is still very much in progress and very much in the concept phase. But just wanted to show you guys we're starting to think about this and thinking about how do we make shapeshift.com look more in lines with where we've been taking the styling with the new ShapeShift web app and making it feel more DAO focused.
Yep, more rainbows.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Yeah, I just posted it. So yeah, what does the community think? Obviously, I think there should be a bunch of rainbow colors and stuff, like rainbow gradient around that screenshot, rainbow mesh gradient colors and stuff. Am I crazy, or should we go full rainbow?
2. All right. Good enough.
All right. We're sold. Yep. It's unanimous.
Cool.
Right.
Awesome.
Thanks. Cool. I'm going to dive into Pendo quickly and then let Willie jump into idle finance just to give you guys a preview of what Pendo is and what it does as we're setting it up. So let me share my screen. Okay, cool. So here I'm on a dashboard for Pendo. There's not much data in here because this is just on Mr. Nerdhair's local environment. So we've just been trying to set up stuff, tag things, and start to set up the funnels and everything like that. But this is a dashboard, and on the dashboard, we'll be able to like customize the type of information that we want to see. So there's all sorts of things. You can break it down by device, browser. Once we get all the funnels in place and all of them tagged properly, we'll be able to see feature adoption rates, things like that. So it's super customizable and pretty easy to use. We don't have accounts, so that one wouldn't be relative to us. But there's a lot of different widgets on here for customizing the dashboard. And then different users, like for example, marketing would be able to come in here and make a dashboard and name it like one specific for marketing. And then they can customize it to see what they would want to see. And same thing for like ops or support. But right now, the goal, we've just been going in and tagging. So like tagging all of these features, assigning them to product areas. There are some untagged URLs, and then basically we can go in, see what they are, tag them, put them into these product areas, and this allows us to track funnels. I actually I found a bug in their system that they're fixing because I was going into the DeFi funnel and got stuck because their product actually gave me a bug. But once that's fixed, I will be able to tag all the funnels for the DeFi section as well. And so we have pages, features, tracking events, and then we can look at behavior. So we have retention, paths, and funnels. So I'm just going to open paths. So I can say show paths starting from, let's just say Connect Wallet. I'm going to run this. Just give it a name. This is just test. So obviously we have not really any data because it's just a local environment, but this is just us, what we've done so far. So all of the users came in, they connect to wallet, and the next place they went is dashboard. Once we have more data and all of the pages are properly tagged, we will be able to see then X amount of users went to an asset details, X amount of users went into a DeFi section, and it'll just show the funnel of where users are going. The paths of where users are going. Funnels are a little bit different. So like, let's say I wanted to show somebody who connects a wallet, and then they obviously are going to go to their dashboard, but then I want to see, if the next place they go is the DeFi section. So actually the funnels are going to be most interesting for us. For example, I would start actually at a DeFi section. So somebody who goes into the DeFi section and then clicks on Fox and then goes through the Fox staking flow. So I'll be able to create a funnel for the entire Fox staking flow and see where users go to and if there's any drop-offs in that funnel. And this will allow us to pinpoint if there's any problems in a funnel, like are a lot of people getting stuck on the confirmation step, for example, things like that. And this will also allow us the opportunity to see if there are any pain points in these funnels or in these journeys where we might have the opportunity to pop up a guide. For example, if there's information that somebody is looking for at a specific point, it could be a good opportunity for us to, be handing them some information to help them get through the entire funnel. But so let me just save and run this one. Again, let's just get it. So this is just if I was tracking this funnel, and again, we don't really have any data here because it's just us playing around right now and getting this all set up. But 33 people connected a wallet. It looks like 94% dropped off for the dashboard page, and then there's none have visited the DeFi section just because, well, this is just all us. We don't really have any user data right now. So, but yeah, we are actively setting all of this up. DeFi just put up a bounty to get all of the buttons with the tags that we're going to need in order to track the buttons properly. That way, when we make updates to the app, nothing will break inside the reporting environments. And then guides, I'll just show you guys. So these are all just placeholder right now. This is what this guide could look like. This is just an example. Like if we wanted to do a feature announcement, this is just, again, an example. But it would pop up, and then we can set the rules around for how this pops up. So we can create segments specific rules for specific visitors. Like let's say people came in and connected a Kepler wallet. If they connected a Kepler wallet, we could say those people are eligible to see a Cosmos staking announcement, for example. Anyways, so there's a lot of rules and everything right now that we're getting set up, but I just wanted you guys to see that this is what the Pendo environment looks like, and this is the tool that we're getting ready. So hopefully in the coming weeks, my assumption is we're maybe about 2 weeks out now. I thought we were closer, but because of the tagging that we need to do this properly, and then there's that one bug that I encountered. But yeah, in flight, underway, and hopefully soon. And then this will be on the alpha version of the ShapeShift website. Let me just see if there's any questions in the stage chat. Yeah.
Fun fact while you check that too, we have not paid for Pendo yet. They went through some changes in there and stuff, so they're still trying to figure out how they want us to pay them. But they've said that we can basically use it for free until they figure that out. So fingers crossed they never figure it out. Just kidding. But pretty cool of them to give us free access in the meantime.
Yeah, apparently they had a changeover in some of their financial team, and the old financial team was a little bit more, radical, and they were more willing to accept this kind of partnership. And now the new team is trying to figure out how they can accept crypto. So it's on their end, and to Willie's point, it's to our advantage right now that we have access to this awesome tool for free. So the longer they take, no problem for us. Cool. And then PTT is asking, would the ENS message system thing that was talked about at lunch yesterday look similar or different?
So the way that EPNS works, by default, they have their own kind of applications for receiving these notifications. So they have a mobile app, they have a browser extension, or they have a web app that you can go to see all your notifications. So for this initial thing that we're doing with them, it's going to be like a governance notification, and that will initially just be through their app for receiving the notifications. But it's a protocol, so we can provide our own UI UX for these notifications in our own interface. I know product's already thinking about like an activity feed. So you can imagine it would match our style basically, but you could see like all the notifications that you're subscribed to, along with whatever notifications we want to show to users. And then we can also just make them look like actual push notifications. So once we have the new app.shapeshift.com app, we'll be able to send push notifications like you get from any of your other apps on your phone, both from the notifications that we want to send to users for like governance or for app-based notification, as well as we can be the app that users use to receive all their notifications. So rather than having to download this EPNS app, which you can do, you can just download the ShapeShift app and then get notifications for any addresses that you have connected to the app. Pretty excited about EPNS. That was one of those things we had. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, it was one of those things that we had push notifications back at centralized ShapeShift, and it's a perfect example of, we either have to continue using a centralized solution, or already these decentralized alternatives are being built around us, and we can just tap into them.
Yeah, and I was just gonna piggyback and say that Beard and I are super excited too about this new activity viewer that we've been talking about for a while. So the user would be inside the app and be able to see like all their activity in this activity viewer, things that they've done, and not just necessarily transaction history. So that would be a part of that, and we're super excited about it. And they're thinking about it on the engineering side for how to build something like that. And next week we'll probably have our initial call with them to talk about how we want it to look on the product side. Cool. All right. If there are no other questions in the stage chat, Willie, I will let you take it away with the idle finance spec, if you're cool with that.
Sweet. Taking it away. I will share my screen. And yeah, major props to Centralized J. This is his spec that he put together. And he is traveling right now. So I'm going to give you guys a quick update on where we're at, because this is one of the upcoming features that we're excited about. If you guys aren't familiar with Idle Finance, it is a single-sided asset staking yield generation platform, very similar to Yearn. And I think they've been around even since before Yearn. They're definitely one of the older yield generating protocols. They work a lot with Yearn. But one of the really cool things that they offer at Idle Finance is the ability to have insured yield without having to purchase insurance. It's the same experience as depositing into a vault like Yearn, but you can choose if you want to deposit into a insured vault, or you can get boosted yield if you don't care about the insurance and you actually just care about the yield. You can be the insurance. You can deposit into these junior tranches that give you boosted yield. But in the event that there is an exploit or anything, then the deposits from the junior tranches are used to cover the senior tranches. So Idle Finance is a cool protocol. They've got this very similar affiliate revenue program that Yearn does. And this will be kind of the next single asset staking protocol that we integrate after Yearn. So the same awesome UI UX we have for depositing into Yearn vaults, we'll have very, very similar UI UX for depositing to Idle. And you'll see the Idle opportunities alongside the Yearn opportunities. One of the reasons that we're integrating Idle next is that they've got this awesome affiliate revenue program already built in. They reached out to us, wanting to get the ball moving, and they're willing to put up a bounty themselves to get integrated. So this is really just a perfect example of this model that we're really working to pioneer and to optimize. But already cool to see these really awesome protocols willing to give us a share of their protocol revenues and willing to put up bounties from their own treasury to actually get integrated. So Major Hayes right now is working on the single-sided assets staking abstraction, so that once that's done, we'll be able to put up a bounty for Idle to get integrated. And then after that, that'll really be our kind of first pilot with this new single-sided staking abstraction layer. If that goes well, then we'll be able to really turn up the gears on outbound outreach to all these other single-sided asset staking protocols. And really, I think we'll just have to really maybe reach out to a couple of the top ones. And then after that, it should really be inbound outreach from all these different single-sided staking protocols to either come integrate themselves, or if they prefer, they can just put up a bounty and we'll support in finding developers to build out the integration. And it should be relatively low effort and share this awesome UI UX. So one of the things that is different and cool about Idle Finance is that you can actually choose to pay for the gas fees by using the tokens that you're earning yield with, both when you're depositing and withdrawing. And we would like to handle that as well. So this is something that a lot of other protocols are starting to adopt as well. These gas station relay systems, where basically they will submit the transaction for you, and they will pay the gas for it, and they will take a cut of whatever other asset that you're transferring. So this will be a good opportunity, especially because they're putting the bounty up for this, for us to kind of handle that abstraction as well, and ideally do it in a way where, like, anytime there's a protocol that offers this ability to not use Ethereum to pay gas, and just pay with the underlying asset to enable that. Maybe even let users default out on a global level. Product recently has been thinking about, like, oh, maybe perhaps, ShapeShift just provides this for users with a contract for, like, for any Ethereum transactions they want to do. They can either choose to pay the gas with Ethereum, or ShapeShift can cover the gas for them and take a portion of the tokens they're using. So that was just a cool future idea that came out of this, but we do want to support that ability to do these quote unquote gasless transactions with idle, and then again build that in a way so that as future single-sided asset staking protocols come to integrate, they already have that available, and that UI UX is built for them, and we can easily support both types, and really again trying to make it so that we're handling all the nuances that you might see, which isn't a lot, right? There's not a ton of nuances. Most of these single-sided asset staking protocols are pretty similar, but for things that are unique, like, oh, if there is insurance available, how can we display that to the user? And then similarly, if another asset staking protocol has a nuance to it, how can we display that and do it in a way where we're not building custom stuff for both of them? So that's pretty much everything about idle, and looking forward to this just being one of many staking protocols that you can use in ShapeShift, and for the product team to just continue optimizing the UI UX, making it the best UI UX we can for each of these kind of popular DeFi categories, and for engineering to continue building really great abstraction layers and docs so that it's super easy for these protocols to come integrate themselves or just put up a bounty. Check the stage chat for questions. No questions. Cool. Well, if there's no questions, I'll pass it back to Diggy.
Cool. Thanks, Willie, and thanks for showing that. Yeah, I guess that is what we had for the agenda today. I guess now we can do a Q&A if anybody has any questions. I knew Seth was going to raise his hand. Let's see. I can invite you.
Appreciate you always bringing questions, Seth. It's much better when we have questions.
Hi, everyone.
GM.
So, a month ago, I asked about the possibility of doing recurring payments and was asked to do my own research. And so now I have. Something interesting that I found is that Ethereum, EIP 1337, enabled recurring payments on Ethereum. So that's already a feature within the blockchain. And as a result, there are many different services that allow for that. So choosing one may be difficult. But I did find one that really caught my eye, not just because it allows for recurring payments, but for a whole lot more. It's called nowpayments.io. Are you guys familiar with that?
No, tell us about it.
No.
Well, they seem to be the biggest one that I found. Essentially, it's designed around merchants in general. And so they've integrated with a lot of shopping platforms like Shopify, Ecwid, WooCommerce. And so they they have an API. They make it really easy to add a store that, an online store that accepts crypto payments. And they even allow for doing trades in the transaction. So, if if they only accept Bitcoin, but I have ETH, they will automatically do the trade. And essentially how they work is, if you're a merchant, they'll take a 0.5% fee in general, which can go down if you have lots of transactions. And they can also charge an extra 0.5% if they have to do a trade. So I'm thinking, if we were to pursue now payments, we could not only take advantage of recurring payments and the other features that they have. Supposedly, they also accept like 100 cryptocurrencies. We could also become the back end for their crypto trading. So I see a lot of possibilities more than just being able to do recurring transactions. So
When you
I'm very
say,
interested. Oh,
sorry, when you say recurring transactions, can you elaborate on that a little bit? I think I'm not totally clear on what you mean.
yeah, sure.
And another way to answer that question too is how would you see that fitting into ShapeShift?
So one way that I see it fitting is, for example, there's a lot of content creators who, they can't make much ad revenue from YouTube unless they have massive views. So they use things like SubscribeStar and Patreon. So they get funding directly from their users, and they offer various rewards for doing so, such as access to a private Discord, for example. So you have to pay a certain amount every month in various tiers. So if we could do that with crypto, it would look like a recurring transaction would be, I offer to automatically send, $5 a month to some content creator, and in return, they give me continual access to their Discord. That would be like a recurring transaction. Or if people wanted to pay their bills on on crypto somehow, once the infrastructure is better, being able to say, okay, I want my car payment to be sent out automatically every month from this wallet. That would be
Got it.
another
And so
example of a recurring transaction.
would you see it like in the UI UX when you're in the send metal that we have? Maybe there's like an advanced setting where you can make any kind of transaction recurring. Is that kind of how you envision it?
Yeah, and probably, a transaction name, so we could say, this is for the car payment, this is for some website I'm using, this is for Netflix, whatever.
Yeah. So I'll say I could definitely see this being useful one day. I think right now, if we look at, we got to figure out, we can only build so much, even though we're working on being able to get to the point where we can integrate all the things. We can only build so much, and we got to figure out what are the most important features to prioritize. And I think right now, the cryptocurrencies, they aren't really actually being used very much as payments.
Right.
So until that happens, it probably wouldn't be a feature that we want to prioritize versus all the other things that we want to prioritize that crypto users are wanting to do right now. And this could be very much a thing too, like that fits into the App Store, which I'm excited about, because again, until we can integrate all of these really popular categories of like things that crypto users want to do, like earn yield and stake and trade and buy NFTs and all that good stuff, which are very popular things that we still need to catch up on. I'm excited about the App Store and these things like we can have, now payments.io in our DApp store. And we can be the first place where people can leave ratings and reviews. You can actually find a DApp like now payments. So that when you're doing all this research to find, it seems like there's a bunch of different recurring payments services, like which one do I use, right? And you should still ideally be able to use that from ShapeShift. And then if we see, we'll have some good data and we'll be able to see, like, as these things start taking off, if any of these things become something that a lot of users want to do. It's not just a minority of users, crypto users that want to do this action. And if it's a minority, then do we really want to clutter our core UI UX with these ancillary edge use cases? Or do we want to have those be on the edge, just like you can download a bunch of apps on your iPhone, have all these amazing apps that you can use through ShapeShift and have a great experience. And no added fees, open source, you're still in control of your keys. And then if these things do become popular, we can always decide, okay, this now it actually makes sense to integrate this natively in our UI UX. Or there's also this cool middle ground that I'm excited about, where we can have like for ThorSwap is like an interface that's solely focused on ThorChain. And because of that, you get a lot of benefits, right? You can see the liquidity pools, and your interface isn't cluttered with non-ThorChain related stuff, right? So we can start by like pointing people over to ThorSwap. We can have that in the App Store. But eventually, maybe we just want to have like a ThorChain dApp that is a lot like ThorSwap, but it's part of the ShapeShift code. It's ShapeShift styling. It's integrated natively in our UI UX. It's open source, and it's soon decentralized, right? Like that'll be really cool. And these dApps can now have their own interface that's free and awesome and open source and has a bunch of users already, and they don't even have to host it, right? So that's kind of how I think about these things. And when I think about recurring payments, for now it sits in the bucket of like, let's just start with the App Store. I'm like, let's prioritize something like the App Store over just like a native recurring payments integration, because I think that will provide more value in the short term. But that's not to say that this couldn't be something that we decide to integrate natively one day, especially if like cryptos start being used more as actual payment methods.
Okay.
Product, do you guys agree with that? I know I kind of spoke on our behalf there.
I was going to piggyback on what you said. It does seem like the type of feature that could exist in the dApp store. It doesn't seem like it aligns right now with the plans we have in the roadmap and in our immediate goals. But to your point, I could see when we have a bunch of dApps available to users and we start to see dApps that are getting reviewed well or have a lot of usage, and something that we could look at as a metric for considering a native integration.
Yeah, that's fair. I took a look at the product roadmap, and you guys have been busy.
Appreciate it.
There's a lot of really exciting and important infrastructure on the horizon. So I totally understand where you're coming from. So I think what I'll do is I'll keep an eye on this, because this is something I'm really excited for. I really want crypto to be heading in that direction. So I'll keep an eye on this, and once we reach the point where we're integrating a lot of dApps, I think then I'll bring it up again along with any additional insights I have on the matter.
Awesome.
Or any
Thank you,
additional
Seth.
research I do.
Really appreciate it. Thanks for understanding, and thanks for bringing this to the table. It's tough. It's right. It's always, there's so many cool things to integrate and build, and so that is one of our biggest challenges as a product team is sometimes having to say no and not being able to build all the cool things. Especially for me, I want to integrate it all. So it's a discipline for sure. It takes a lot of self-control, but hopefully one day.
Yep. All right. Thanks a lot.
You, sir.
Thanks, Seth. Does anybody else want to jump up on stage, or does anybody else have any other questions?
I guess I'll give everyone a preview of a bounty that product is planning to put out there related to this dApp store. So I'll post a link to the Wallet Connect dApp registry, and this you can see all the dApps that are already integrated with Wallet Connect. And very soon, you'll be able to use all of these dApps with any of the wallets supported by ShapeShift. So this registry, this is kind of like the beginning of a dApp store, but if you look at it, there's not a lot of information. All they have is a logo, a name, and a link to their website. I think we can take this kind of as a starting point, and then put a bounty out for a skilled community member who has ideally experience using a lot of different dApps and stuff, so they understand what a lot of the different categories of dApps are. Maybe they're already familiar with some of these dApps, to go put together some more metadata on these dApps. So like a little quick, paragraph description, maybe some screenshots of the dApps. Categories like, okay, this Etherscan, that's a block explorer. Uniswap, that's a DEX. OpenSea, NFT marketplace. Compound, lending protocol. Starting to put these dApps into buckets. And maybe some other interesting tags as well. Things like, free, other things that people might want to use to search for different apps and filter apps in an app store. And then that's kind of the next milestone. So we're not going to hold back launching the dApp store, waiting for this metadata. We want to, as soon as we're ready to let users use all these dApps via Wallet Connect and ShapeShift, we will launch this list. But then as soon as we can, launching an improved version that should be relatively light lift on the engineering side. It's mostly just building out this framework, this template for the App Store, these categories, these app listings, and then if anyone might be interested in this, please reach out, because I think it would be nice to maybe, if someone wants to really take this on and focus on it, it could be a good project for someone to really just go heads down on. I think there's there's 11 pages and there's over 150 apps in here. So it's not going to be a small task, but it's going to be a valuable one. I think well compensated, and I think will be really valuable for ShapeShift for us to be able to then have the first app store where you can find all the information about these. And the next milestone after that I'm really, really excited about is the ability to rate and review these apps, and do that in a decentralized way using signed messages and storing the ratings and reviews on IPFS, and actually having verified reviews based on the information that we can get from the chain on how active an address has been, if they've actually used this protocol. Seems like something that needs to exist, and we're in a good position to be the first ones to build it. So hopefully that's just another thing to add to the list of soon, but also one of the things that I'm really excited about, and I guess will help finally, for the first time ever, give ShapeShift users the ability to use all these dApps with all the wallets we support. And hopefully will really, I think, help accelerate our network effects and help us be the best place to interact with all the protocols and all the chains.
Cool, Willie. Thanks for sharing that alpha. Cool. Well, if there's nothing else, hopefully next time we'll be able to have some live demos. I'm hoping by the next product office hours, we'll be able to demo for you guys the Kepler wallet integration, the XDeFi wallet integration, demo wallet, which is currently in flight. And that's the ability to view the new ShapeShift web app with a demo wallet that has been set up. And then the ability to set your default currency and possibly a bunch of other features. So please join us in 2 weeks from now, and hopefully we'll have a lot more to share with you guys. Okay, I'm going to put Lo-Fi back up here.